and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica, and in today's video we are making the Juno wallet. This is in part of the Marathon Sewciety. The pattern is by SewGnar. I will have the link for this pattern down below in the description. It is very cute. It has a ton of card slots, 16 in total, and then it has a cash slot here, and also on the other end is a cash slot. If you have a small enough phone, you could put this in here, but I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max. It does not fit here. You have the option to add some corset D-rings or D-rings if you'd like, so that you can make this into a wristlet, or if you want to make this into a crossbody. The choice is yours. I did use cork for the exterior and the interior, and it turned out really nice, and you have a really nice zipper back here, and there is a gusset that you will do, which came out really well. This is a really fun, unique design on how to attach the gusset. So make sure you do that, and you can also put a really fun pop of color in here. All right, so again, the Juno wallet is part of the Sewing Marathon. For the Marathon Sewciety, there will be a link tree available. However, when this is published, I will be on the road. So I will not have, well, maybe I will. I will try to set the link tree into my description, but if not, you could always join the Instagram for the Marathon Sewciety for future marathons happening, which we have one for every single month. So just go ahead and follow us on Instagram so that you can keep up with them. And I believe the link tree is also posted on the Instagram page as well, so you can follow along with all the other YouTubers who are participating in the marathons. All right, guys, I've chatted enough. Let's go ahead and sew our Juno wallet. Go ahead and go over our pattern pieces. Card panel A, you'll need 2 cuts for this. On the wrong side, I have some double-sided tape. This is to help placement. We have card panel B. You'll need 1 cut of this. This is the piece that you will need to have those card slot cutouts here. On the other one, for the card back panel, I think is what it's called, that's the one you would not have your card slot cut out. And then you're going to have a zipper gusset, 1 piece, and make sure that when you do cut this that you are cutting this wrong side up, otherwise it may not work. Well, I guess it will not work. You're going to need 6 cuts of your card slots. I will be kind of alternating between the black rainbow and then the natural rainbow cork. I've got sticky tape on the bottom of all of these. We've got the card panel back right here, and then I've already made all of my marks and everything on the back side of that. You have 2 cuts for your main panels, and we've already got the card, not the card slot, but the zipper pocket already cut out here. And I also have the marks for the placement of the snaps. I will be using plastic snaps for this. And then you'll have your zipper. I'm using number 3 zipper. She does say that you could use number 5, but she said it's easier if you use a number 3 zipper. And then a number 3 zipper pull. And then I have 2 cuts for my lining. Now I'm using waterproof canvas, so I will not be interfacing this. And I think you're going to need a marking tool to make all of those lines and making sure that everything lines up. And then you'll need a lighter and just your general sewing tools. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so right now I'm going to start working with that card panel back. And I have already made all of my lines. This is so that all of your card slots line up and are straight. So I'm going to keep this panel so that it is right side down, so we're looking at the wrong side. And I've got my card slots here. I'm going to set those to the side for just a moment. And then I have two of my card panel A's here. And like I said, I already have the back side double-sided tape on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this so that we are doing both sides at the same time. I think in the pattern it has you do one side at a time, but I am going to go ahead and do them at the same time. So what we're going to do is we want to take our first card panel back, and I'm going to remove the paper from my double-sided tape. And I'm going to take that long straight edge and I'm going to match it up with the top straight edge. However, we want to make sure that it lines up, so the bottom should line up with that first line, which is for your card panel back. So I'm just matching up my edges and also making sure that the bottom lines up with that line. It looks pretty good. The good thing about this is we can trim as we go so that our edges match up. I need to actually fix this because my sides are not matching up. So let me just fix that real quick. That's better. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and remove that paper. And again, I'm going to rotate this and grab my other card panel back, excuse me, and line up that top edge with the top edge on the other side, matching up the line, that first line. So it should look like this. All right, so let's go ahead and top stitch at the top edges on both sides at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm using rainbow thread to go with this. It is called Groovy from Wizardry Stitchery. This is what it should look like. I went ahead and trimmed my edges to make sure that they are matching up. I still need to go and trim the top and the bottom edge to line up. This one looks pretty good, but this one is just a smidgen off, but that's okay. Like I said, we can just trim as we go. We're gonna go ahead and grab our 6 card slots. Okay, so I'm gonna be alternating my colors here. We are gonna take one of our card slots, and I've already got double-sided tape on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the paper. You don't have to go all the way across if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. You could also use tape if you'd prefer. Not tape, glue. You could use glue if you want to. You're going to place this right at the bottom of that first line. Okay, and you want to make sure that it lines up on that first line, and also that your edges are going to line up, which mine are not, which is fine. I will clip these when I have them sewn at the bottom. Okay, so don't worry about that. We'll trim as we go. I'm going to go ahead and grab another black rainbow cork and remove the paper. And I'm going to place this one the same way. So I'm going to place it so that it's on the bottom, matching up that first line. So it's going to be right over the top of your, I forget what that's called, the card panel back. Or not the card panel back. What is that piece called? Card panel A. Excuse me, card panel A. So this will be over card panel A, matching up on that line. I think this one might be off just a little bit because you want your edges to be flush here with your straight line. So you don't want it to be down like this and showing where you taper off on the corner. You don't want that. And for some reason, mine is like that down here. So I'm just going to play with it for a moment and see if I can get this correct. And if you have to go up a little bit on the bottom, or go up a little bit from the bottom to cover that and make sure that it lines up, I think it's fine. So I did have to go up a little bit for some reason. Maybe I just cut it a little too short or something. That's fine, not a big deal. All right, so this is what I've got right now, and then on the other side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew along that bottom edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on both sides. All right, so let's go ahead and sew that down. All right, so that looks pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and grab 2 more of our card slots. And like I said, I'm alternating colors, so I'm just gonna grab the tan or natural colored cork. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna place it so that it is now on the next line down, okay? My edges are not matching up, which is fine. I'm just trimming as I go, so not a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the paper. And again, this next line here is where I'm gonna place the bottom edge of my next card slot, trying to line them up as best as I can. That looks pretty good. I'm going to flip this around and remove the paper on the other one and go to that next line and lay that long edge along that and just match up my card slots as best as I can. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and sew down the bottom on both sides at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, that's looking pretty good. So now we're going to do the same thing with our last 2 card slots. We're going to place them on the next line. All right, we've got that down, so let's go ahead and sew at the bottom edge of both of those card slots at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so that is done. So now what we're going to do is grab our card panel B, and we are going to, I have my center marked on the back side, and then also the center is marked on the back side of that panel. I'm going to line up those centers and clip along the side edges. And if you're noticing it's not really straight, you could move it around to get it how you like it. I think that looks pretty good. Make sure that you already have all your center lines marked, because now we're going to sew down the center and then, and then back up. And I like to double stitch on every card slot just to make sure that there's extra security, because you do use the card slots a lot. You'll start from your card slots and go all the way down. I have my center line here and all the way down to your other card slot. And then if you want to come back up, I will be doing that. Totally up to you if you want to come back up or not. But I definitely want to make sure there is extra security in the card slots. So let's go ahead and sew down that center line. All right, so the center is sewn together, looks pretty good. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to take some double-sided tape and place it right along the edge of our back right here on both sides. This is so that we can lay our card slots flat so that no card slot shift when we're sewing this together in a little bit. You could use some Beacon 3-in-1 glue here if you'd prefer, but I'm just going to use some double-sided tape here and lay this down. I'm laying it right on that edge here. You're going to move the card slots up out of the way because you want the tape to be behind those card slots. And then that one I didn't go up far enough, so I need to get another little piece here and lay it down. All right, so we're going to remove that paper, and I'm just going to place it all the card slots down and apply some pressure. We don't want anything to move, so that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so I've got both sides of my edges with some double-sided tape. Now is a good time to go ahead and trim up your edges if you like, but make sure that you have a sharp blade and also that you have your blade straight up. If you don't have it straight up, you could go off the sides, and then they're not going to be as straight as you would like them to be. So also keep in mind that you have a very small, what am I trying to say? You don't want to trim off too much. So just keep that in mind. No more than 1/4 inch. So try to get it as small as you can, but as straight as you can. Okay, so keep that in mind. Don't cut off more than 1/4 inch for this. Now we're going to grab the panel that has the cutout for your zipper. You're going to grab your zipper. Make sure you go ahead and put your zipper pull on. And then you're going to grab your 2 lining pieces and then also your gusset piece. Now on the smallest lining part, there is a reason there that the interfacing is on here, and that's just to, we're going to be folding that against the interfacing, but since I don't have that because I'm using waterproof canvas, this is a pretty thick waterproof canvas. I don't think it needs it. I went ahead and applied double-sided tape on this edge here, and I'm going to remove the paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold that raw edge, and it is shredding. And the reason we have this edge folded is because when we turn this over, we want this folded edge to be right here where this gusset line is. I'm going to call it a gusset line. We're going to place it so that it meets that edge, okay? So the folded edge will be at that gusset line right there. So that's why you have the interfacing is to fold it right against the interfacing. But I'm just using double-sided tape, and I just wanted to show you that real quick. I'm going to set it to the side for a moment because we're not using that right now. Let's go ahead and work on our zipper. I've already made a mark on the bottom of your zipper, okay? Now, make sure that you have your zipper closing towards the left and opening towards the right, okay? That's where that little mark is going to be on the bottom on your left side. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And everyone has a different method for this. Some people like to use, what's it called? Some people like to use their lighter and singe the edges so that they are together. I like to use a stapler. So I'm going to grab this stapler. It has very little staples in here. I got it off of Amazon. I will try to find the link and put it in the description below. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take this little mark that we've made and we're going to pinch it, okay? We're going to pinch that fold, and what we're going to do is take the fold and bring it right up to the zipper, okay? Just like this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and staple this into place. Okay, like so. That first staple didn't quite get it, but so it's like this. I'm going to go ahead and trim off that edge as well. And then now, oops, I'm just tossing everything around. Now I'm going to go ahead and singe that. Okay, so now we've got that folded edge all done, and it's got to be on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab some double-sided tape, and I'm going to place it on the bottom, on the left side, and on the top around that zipper opening. You could use glue here if you'd like, but I will use some double-sided tape, and I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch for this. All right, so the tape is on now. I'm going to remove the paper from all 3 sides. Okay, now I'm going to take my zipper. I'm going to lay it down so that it's right side up. And we are going to place this on top, but we want to have this folded edge on the bottom right probably 1/8 of an inch away from your gusset line here. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. Excuse me, I'm going to put this down first. Okay, and I'm going to place this on top, but I'm going to start from the bottom. I'll flip it this way, maybe you can see better. From that bottom edge, and I'm going to have that about 1/8 of an inch away. And the further away you have that from your gusset line, you will have a hole there, and the gusset will cover the hole, but not all the way. So don't leave a super huge opening. Try to get it 1/8 of an inch away from that folded from your folded zipper, and try to get this as straight as possible. Oh, I like it with the yellow. I do have my zipper a little bit longer than it needs to be. I do like to do that on purpose. I think I need to singe those edges more. There's some poking out, but that looks pretty good. It looks pretty straight. I don't want to mess with it too much. So yeah, there we go. You want to make sure your zipper opens to the right and closes to the left. I'm going to go ahead and put this so that it's right sides down. I'm going to apply some more double-sided tape. I'm going to be applying it on the bottom of that tape. All right. And then I'm going to turn this around so that the short end is facing me, and I'm going to take that shorter end, not the shorter end, but the shortest lining piece, and I'm going to take it, and if you've got the interfacing on yours, the part where the interfacing is left off of that edge, that's the edge you want to use right now. I'm going to lay it so that the fold is right up against that gusset line, and I'm going to lay that edge right at the edge of my zipper. All right, so I've got the folded edge at that line, and I'm going to lay this down right sides down. Okay, so now we're going to go to the machine, and we're going to top stitch on the bottom edge only. I'm going to start on this side and come all the way to that folded edge. I'm going to be pulling my threads to the back and tying them off. Your lining should be wrong side up and towards the top of your panel. You don't want to sew it so that it's facing up. Okay, so make sure you have it, if I turn it around, this is the top, and then your lining should look like this, okay? And then it'll look like this whenever we fold it down. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and top stitch that bottom edge only. So this is what it should look like right now. You have your first sewn line down at the bottom of your zipper, and then the back should look like this. I put a piece of double-sided tape here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the paper, and I'm going to fold my lining down. And if you have your stabilizer on, this should fold right over the edge of your stabilizer, just like so. But that double-sided tape just helps it stay in place for right now. So now what we're going to do is grab our little zipper gusset piece. On the wrong side, I put double-sided tape on the short edge of the zipper gusset. I have it so that this panel is still right side down. And what we're going to do is we're going to place this so that this zipper gusset is right side up. It's going to go right along that zipper gusset line, okay? So this little curve is going to be at the top of the zipper. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove the paper. And we're going to place this right side down along the gusset line, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this so it's right side up, and we're going to sew along that gusset line right there, okay? Pull your threads to the back if you'd like. I will start sewing from the very bottom, okay, from the very bottom of that gusset and go up, okay? All right, so this is what we have now when you're looking at the back side of it, okay? You probably can't really see too much. We still have this opening here, so, but this zipper gusset side is sewn down. So what we're gonna do is I placed double-sided tape along the other edge, okay? I'm going to remove the paper, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this zipper gusset, the other side, okay, and we're going to fold it. Now I'm using 1/4 inch tape here, so you want to fold it a 1/4 inch in from that edge, okay? So I'm gonna take this folded edge and I'm just gonna meet the edge of my double-sided tape since it's a 1/4 inch. And I'm gonna fold it in half, just like so. So if you see, now we have a little gusset. How cute is that? Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this and place it so it's right side down. You're gonna take your other lining, okay? I have already placed sticky tape on the top edge of my zipper. I'm going to remove that paper, and I'm going to take this so that it is right side down. If you are using a directional print, make sure you pay attention to that so that you are placing it right side down the correct way. I'm not, so I'm just going to go ahead and place it right sides down, lining up the edges of the other lining. All right, so right now what we need to do is close up our zipper. So I'm going to take this and place it so we're looking at the front exterior panel, and we're going to lift this side up, and we're going to sew right down this edge to close up the zipper, and then we're going to pivot and come down. Whoops, because I have this tape here. I'll have to move this tape so I can sew the bottom closed. So all I'm doing is starting on that right side and closing up this side. I'm going to pivot and come down all the way to the other edge and close this down, okay? After that is when we're going to come and sew on the bottom and come across on the other side of that gusset line and sew up and around this box and come down on this side and pull those threads to the back, okay? So close up your pocket first before you close up this side, okay? Before we stitch over this box, okay? So let's go to the machine and take care of that. All right, so at the bottom of my panel with the zipper gusset, with zipper, I'm gonna go ahead and install my plastic snaps just at the bottom here. You'll want to follow along in the instructions for that. If you are doing magnetic snaps, that would have been done earlier on the other panel, or at least you want to do that now before final assembly. So if you're doing the magnetic snaps, go ahead and do that now before everything comes together. But I'm going to go ahead and place my plastic snaps down at the, down at the bottom of my zipper panel. I'm going to wait for the other snaps to go through all of my pieces. That'll be the one that is folded over the edge. We'll do that in a little bit. All right, so I have installed my plastic snaps down at the bottom. I placed some stabilizer behind just to make sure we have some extra stability here when pulling on the snaps, because I didn't interface this. The next step in the pattern is showing you how to attach the corset D-rings, or if you're wanting to add any kind of strap piece here for a wristlet or maybe a crossbody. This is where you would do that now, and you'll go ahead and follow along in the instructions because I'm not doing that on this wallet. Okay, so we are at final assembly. You're going to need your card slot panel, the zipper panel, and then the other panel. Now I don't have stabilizer on mine. I only put stabilizer where I'm placing my snaps. So this is the top edge. So down at the bottom, you'll want to go ahead and make a measurement. The measurement is listed in the pattern, so you'll want to go ahead and do that. Now what you're going to do is take your card slots and place it so that that long edge is right on the line you just made. You can again use tape or glue here or clips. I'm just going to clip my sides. You want it as centered as possible. On my zipper panel, I put double-sided tape on here. This is so that I can keep it all straight as I sew this together. So what I'm going to do is take this and make sure you have everything correct. So this is the top of mine. This is the top of the other one. So I'm going to place it right sides down. I'm going to remove the paper from all of my tape. Don't mess up your orientation here. On your zipper panel, your snaps are going to be on the bottom, okay? So make sure you have that correct. I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave my clips in for a moment, and I'm going to place this so that they are wrong sides together, matching up all of your edges. Okay, I had to remove the card slots to do this. I basically started over and started from the top and just put it together at a fold at both sides, okay? And then that way it gives you the folds for this to fold over for you. So now I'm going to take my card slots and I'm going to place it on that line that we marked a little bit ago and then clip this together. All right, so now that we have this together, what you're going to do is grab your instructions and you're going to create two lines, straight lines across from the bottom, okay? So make sure you look at your instructions for the measurements for your lines. There's also instructions in here on the right way to sew this box. We want to sew it in a way that we are double stitching our box on the sides to close this up. All right, so that looks great. I do need to trim up my sides just a little bit on both sides because the main portions are kind of overhanging, as you can see here. So I do need to trim that up. The last thing I need to do, let's just put this together and see. Well, that looks really good. That came out really nicely. Last thing that I need to do is go ahead and punch holes through here and attach my other plastic snaps. You want to make sure that the snap ends are on the inside of your wallet so that they snap into place whenever you put your flap together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to be complete with our Juno wallet. How stinking cute is that? Okay. Let me go take care of that off camera real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so the snaps have been installed on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and close this and hopefully they fit into place. Well, hold on. There we go. Well, that is so cute. That turned out really well. I love the yellow zipper. It's so cute. I really like this. I love the placement and also the alternating colors here. It came out really nice. I've already tested all of my credit card slots to make sure all of them fit. The only thing left for me to do is to trim off my edges. I will do that off camera, but the Juno wallet, ladies and gentlemen, it came out really good. It's very pretty. I really like it. This is now the time where you can go ahead and edge coat all of your edges if you'd like to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I am not a pro at that. I need to work on that. But yeah, we are all done with the Juno wallet. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And remember, this is part of the Marathon Society, so we have this marathon going on all day long. So make sure you tune in to the rest of the Sewist today for the Juno wallet. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.